So typically when we start to hear about things like itching at 8 weeks of age or older, when we start to hear about ear infections, and especially when they're recurrent ear infections. One ear infection, I have no problem with regards to treating that ear infection based on cytology, and then basically let's see if it resolves the problem. However, when we start to see it coming back a second or a third time, that's when the bells need to start ringing as far as underlying etiologies. Perianal region, that's definitely food allergy until proven otherwise. So if you have a dog that's coming in for chronic recurrent anal gland impactions that have to be evacuated on a monthly basis, if you have pets that are scooting and just dragging their hind end, and then they have what I call baboon butt, where basically they lose all the hair, their perianal region gets inflamed and hyperplastic, that's very characteristic for food allergy as well. And lastly, feet. Chewing at the feet, especially when dogs make the effort to turn over their foot and chew at the undersurface of it, somewhere between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, when dogs are kind of sucking at their feet, waking you up at that time of the night. That's a distinct effort that needs to be made by that pet, and that basically is very consistent with food allergy and the intensity that we typically see associated with food allergy. So ears, feet, rears, definitely think about food allergy. And then the last area that isn't published in textbooks is the lesion that kind of courses over the entire back. And I call it crossing the US-Canadian border. So basically the US is where we see a lot of fleas. They love that heat mass over the rump area. That's where all the muscles are and everything. When you start to see lesions crossing over onto the thorax, that's an area where there's really not a lot of evidence of blood vessels. There's intercostal blood vessels, and so fleas don't tend to spend a lot of time there. So when we start to see lesions crossing the thoracolumbar junction or the US-Canadian border and creeping all the way up to the neck, that's more consistent with food allergy as well.